At 1 o'clock, we had Northern Iowa, which is typically a very good FCS program. Did not have the best year last year, going 6-6, but UNI is a typically great program. Trevon Air Force, which went 10-3 last year. Obviously, Air Force had a phenomenal year last year. Ended up beating Louisville in the Air Force Bowl? I'm trying to remember. I don't remember exactly what bowl it was. But Air Force is favored by 14.5 points on Alt Network. I don't really know where that is, but I'm not going to be watching this game most likely because I don't think I have that. Hazik Daniels went 52-104 last year, threw for 1,184 yards, 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and a 50% completion percentage. Brad Roberts had 299 yards for 1,356 yards on the ground and 13 touchdowns, and they are returning that level of production on the ground. Dane Kinnaman had 10 catches for 141 yards and 2 touchdowns, which is actually pretty impressive. 2 tutties is pretty impressive for a program that does not throw the ball a lot. But I think this is going to be a really interesting year for Air Force. Can they compete in the Mountain West for back-to-back seasons? Because the Mountain West is going to be tough this year. I expect Boise State to be back to full strength. I expect San Diego State to also be a competitor in the Mountain West. And I also expect Fresno State to be a really good football team this year. So I have 3 teams that are really, really good in the Mountain West. And if Air Force is there and they're good, then that's 4. And I think that could be a really interesting conference to watch this year if that turns out to be the case. I think the Falcons are really good. I think they have a legitimate chance of competing for the Mountain West this year. I think this is going to be a big game to determine if we're going to be thinking of that going forward. But they returned their same quarterback from last year. They returned one of their leading rushers from last year. There's a lot of continuity on the offensive side of the ball, and Air Force's defense is always solid. UNI is a really good football team. Don't get me wrong. But I just think Air Force is a really, really solid football team that has a chance of being really good next year. And UNI was a little bit out of sync last year. I think they'll start out the season that way. And I think Air Force wins this game and covers.